Hi everybody, Michael Allen here. I'm going to be showing you how to build a still air box. This is for a beginner that doesn't have any tools. You're going to go to Walmart. You're going to buy yourself a bin. I didn't buy one because I didn't have the extra money to buy one, so I just taped up the holes on an old one to show you guys how to do this. This is a 72 quart hefty I bought. You can get a Sterilite, you can get whatever you want. But what you're going to do is you're going to take this tote and you're going to put it on your table that you're going to be working at, okay? And you're going to find where you want your holes to be comfortable. I like mine off to the outside edges more. The old tote I had one on the edge, one on the side, like this. I had one here and one here so I could work in this direction. I don't like that. So I found the centers of my holes on the thing where I like. Find a container or anything that is about the size you want your holes to be. I want my holes to be about that size, so take your Sharpie, put your container over the spot that you designate, draw yourself a circle. Okay, there's one. Do the other side. Try to keep them about even. You know, you don't want them all cattywampus. Now, you do not need drill bits, jigsaws, sawzalls. You don't need any of that. Go in your kitchen, into the junk drawer, and find an old, shitty knife or a butter knife. And if you have a stove, you can use that. I'm going to be using a torch because I don't have a stove down here where I'm going to be working. But I'm going to get my box just so it's an easy way to get at it. Now, I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to start my torch. Now, if you're on a stove, just turn your stove on and put your knife on top of the stove safely. Keep the handle away from the fire. And as I'm doing here, I'll put my torch like that, and I'm going to hang my knife blade just over the tip so that it heats up the end of my knife. Let me see if you can see that. Okay? I just have my knife sitting right over the tip of the flame, and that's how I'm going to cut my holes in my still air box. It's very simple. Anybody with a plastic tote and a knife can do it. You don't need drills, you don't need jigsaws, you don't need any of that stuff. You don't need soldering irons. This is all you need. Look how red hot this is. You see that? It's red hot. Watch this. Goes right through. Do this in a ventilated area. Follow your circle. If it starts getting cool, reheat your blade. Continue on your circle. Now I do it like a sawing motion just because I'm, right here. Okay? And as you heat your blade, do this in a ventilated area. I got the door open and a fan blowing, but there's still going to be a little bit of a smell. And once you're done melting through the plastic, there you go, you have a hole. Now you do that again, which I'm going to go do the other one outside, and you'll have your two holes. I'll be right back with melting your two holes in with your big knife. You can clean up the edges with that same knife. Okay, or you can use a piece of sandpaper, which I'll show you that too, because I happen to have a piece right here. I was going to actually throw this away. It's like an old sanding block thing. You can just clean up your edges, make it nice and smooth, or get some duct tape. This is what I prefer to do. Get a piece of duct tape, split it in half the long way, and then go around your hole. And make it nice and smooth for your arms. Now this is purely cosmetic, just so your arms are smooth. It has nothing to do with airflow or any of that. One thing I do want to mention, guys, is this is called a still. Now remember this is very important. The whole thing is in the name here. Still air box. Fast movements, blowing fan air into this is going to screw up the whole purpose of a still, not moving, air box. When you're working in your still air box, okay, just for an example, I'm having it's upside down just so I can show you guys while I'm standing here like this. Okay, your arms are going to go in. You're going to do your work. You want to go slow. You do not want to be going in and out. Every time you go in and out the holes, you're bringing in contaminated, possibly contaminated, dirty air. You want to get everything ready. You want to you spray the whole thing down with isopropyl or bleach water, whatever you're doing to get the cleaning done first. Put your towel down, a wet towel on the bottom. Like on your table, put a wet towel down with also alcohol sprayed on it. Put all your work on there. Put your box over your work area. Slowly. Let everything in there settle for 5 to 10 minutes so that there's no moving air in there and spores in the air space inside the box. And when you're working, you work slow and purposefully. You do not shake your syringes in here. You don't take your cap off your syringe and shake the shit out of it and then inoculate, because all you're doing is moving air. And the whole point of a still air box is to eliminate contamination possible vectors by having still air. Adding a fan to a still air box is pointless. Blowing in filtered air into a still air box is no longer a still air box. It is a filtered air enclosure. Sorry. It's a filtered air enclosure if you're adding a fan and a filter and all that. If you're doing a Gordo Tech where you're putting a filter here and you're working like this with a filter in the back and you got, fresh flow of air coming at you, that's different. Anybody can use a still air box just like that. You put your lid on the bottom if you want. I don't use the lid. I just put this on top of my work on a big table. And then I work inside of it nice and slowly. Anyways, that's all you need to do to get a still air box is get a hot knife and a heat source, a knife, and cut your holes. But make sure they're at the right working area, because if you do your holes too close, you can't bend in close enough to work. So you want your holes on the outside, so you're working to the middle. I hope that helps some of you guys. That's my take on still air boxes. More quick note, nothing against Gordo Tech boxes. I used one for months, or for a long time. They're great. I was just saying this is not that. This is something different. This is for someone that has $10 and they want to start working mycology stuff. They have the stuff, but they don't have a flow hood. They don't have injection ports. Say they're working with new stuff and plates and stuff where you don't use injection ports. So you need to have still air to work in. This is the final result. It's just roughly done. I mean, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be effective. You can get some foam and put it around here. You can make it pretty. That's not what the point of this is. This is just down and dirty, broke boy, still air box. Boom. There you go. That's how you work it. Now, you wouldn't want to have an open hole grate underneath. You'd want to have a towel laying there. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Have a great day.